Hey, it's Todd. Look, I should have never asked how you're doing before because now I really want to know. Are you stressed out? Is there anything I could do to help you with that? Like, could you take a deep breath? Does that work sometimes? Oh, come on, do it. Just do it. Take it in, let it out. It sounds corny, but if you really try it, do it. Please. Ready? It's not going to get rid of all your stress, obviously, but some of it can. You can get yourself into a peaceful state. Hey, you still got life's problems, but you can get somewhere. You can. All right, here we go. Brendon Walsh is our guest. Next week it's Henry Phillips. I'm excited about that. Rory's probably going to be in there too, I think. Maybe. I'm in Atlanta right now. I'm having a great time. I really love it here. I love the club. I love the people. I love you. I love you. All right, everybody. You're good people. I'm proud of you. Go have a nice day.
A very funny guy, Todd Glass.
If you don't fucking call me back this time, then don't call me ever again. We're done.
The Todd Glass Show launches August 12th.
Todd. Hey, it's Zach.
Yeah.
No, Zach.
Is that Zach?
Listen, man, I really want to come on the podcast. I've got stuff to promote.
Hello?
Comedy Central presents Todd Glass.
Hello?
Todd Glass.
Hello?
Ryan Regan. Again.
Brian Regan.
Brian Regan. Brian Regan. Brian Regan. Brian Regan. Brian Regan. Brian Regan.
No.
Brian Regan. Brian Regan. Brian Regan.
You want me to beg?
That's Eddie's peppertones.
Mark, I'm the guy that can't come on the Todd Glass Show. What do I fucking need to do?
His very funny podcast, The Todd Glass Show, can be found at
Mark Maron.
nerdist.com. Please welcome Todd Glass.
From the beautiful Los Cienega Strip,
Brian Regan. Brian Regan. Brian Regan.
high atop Black Horse Motors, it's the Todd Glass Show.
Do you think it's good to give your location like that?
I figure it's okay.
Somebody come shoot up the place.
I know. I did think about that, but we're not too controversial. What else you got over there? How's Mike Wallace doing over there? Is he doing
My name is Mike Wallace. The cigarette is Parliament.
All right, so here we go. We're going to rip through that. We're going to rip through this quick. I'm coming to Atlanta this Thursday.
Tonight. Laughing Skull?
Yeah, I was there last night.
Yeah.
Because this we don't. Oh, I'm going to be at Atlanta today. Okay, today is Friday. I'm at Atlanta tonight. And then I'm in Atlanta Saturday, and I'm going to be in Atlanta Sunday. So I can't wait to go. It's going to be fun. Chris Burden is from Atlanta. I'm going to see you, hang out. Preston. It's going to be good fun.
Look at
Paul
you
F.
guys.
Tompkins, I saw your half of your special, and me and Brandon agreed before we went on the air that it was very funny.
It's Brendon, Todd.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brandon. I know. Jesus Christ. It's like Caroline, that old Brian Regan. Brian Regan. Eddie says I mentioned Brian Regan a lot. I do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I don't notice over Regan mentioning.
Thank you. Oh, you listen to the show.
I've heard. I listened to all of them.
I'm not going to be one of those people.
On my way over.
You remember
Episode 4. Do you remember, you guys?
You act like you didn't listen to any, but then I drill you on it. You go, oh, so which ones did you listen to?
Oh, yeah, all of them.
Oh, so you know when we do the bit where we play the funky, the disco music?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's you have a funny name for it. God, what's it called? Disco
That's all right.
something? Yeah.
See, in real life, if you said that, I wouldn't go, we don't do the disco music. I'd feel so bad for you. I would just sort of like let you be in your white lie.
In my lie.
Yeah. So Paul F. Tompkins, that looked great. You're special. Not only did you look great, but the background looked good and the material matched.
I know I'm messing with the mic.
People say,
told me not to, but
you know what people say?
That's good.
They go, the rattling of the mic sometimes isn't as bad when you yell at people, and I have to explain to them that when I yell at people here, it's an affectionate comedic yell. No one in this room is fearful of me. Plus, I remind them how much I respect them, appreciate them, and have an affection for them, which is true. It's absolutely true. I do. What I just said, I feel about every single person in this room.
How about fuck off?
But there's a different way to show that than by screaming it in their face.
No,
I appreciate you.
No. When I tell them that, I don't scream it. I'm saying sometimes when people are rattling the mics, and I go, "Stop rattling the mics." I think Daniel or Blake said, "We get that there's a comedicness to that. Like I'm not, I get because I'm so." It's just everything's fine here. Don't worry. I know people get worried sometimes what's going on here, but everything's fine, right, gang? Okay, so there's that. Megan Conroy, I told you not to listen to the show. Your privilege has been taken away. A lot of times people tell you, "Oh, I'm not going to listen anymore," and I say, "No. You're I don't. That makes it sound like, but if I change my mind, no, you don't. Your privileges are get taken away. Now I know Megan's probably going. He'll never know. I will find out. Your privilege has been taken away. Your privileges have been taken away. Okay.
What did she do?
I had one episode I wasn't happy about, and she said I've listened to all 40, and now that last one was so bad that I'm not listening anymore.
She said this in email.
She did.
She came over his house.
She came over my house. I give that address too on the air. So anyway, so Megan, really, Megan, I just want you to be happy. And you know what? Obviously, if I didn't love you, then you couldn't have affected me. I think you crushed my soul when you said that because I thought she loved 40 and then won. Anyway, let's move on. Ben Black, you know why I'm thanking you. You're a good man. Okay, that will do next week. There's about 3 emails that I was supposed to. We're going to have this show where we talk about some stuff, get another serious show. So there's 3 emails that if you're like, God, Todd emailed me and said we were going to talk about it on the show, but we haven't yet. We're going to. We'll do it probably next 2 weeks. So if you're like, you know who you are. You're listening to this going, I think that's probably me. Someone else is going, that's probably me too. So there's like 3 or 4 of you unanswered emails. Not that they're unanswered, but I emailed you back and said we're going to talk about that on a future episode. We are going to. So there we go. I got all that out of the way. How's everyone doing? Right? You're doing good? Everyone's all right. Happy birthday to you. You know, get the fuck up. What if it is your birthday? You're like, shut the fuck up. Even if I know he's just saying it, it's still cool. You're damn right. It's cool. These words are going through wires and think about. I want to play your intro.
Okay.
But, God, I hope I didn't say your name wrong to Lynn.
Well, you probably did.
You know, it's like I spend half my life sweating in fear that I'm going to get somebody's name wrong. It's very, very scary.
That's better than just forgetting somebody completely. How many times a week do you reintroduce yourself to people?
Let me tell you something. We've talked about this on the show a lot. I only get it confused when it's Brendon. What did I say before?
Brandon is usually that's the go-to mistake.
Brandon, but it's Brendan.
Brendan, yeah.
Yeah, it's Brendan. So if it's Brendan, Brandon, or Craig, Greg.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them like that where I start just sweating profusely. And, of course, there's always, not anymore, the being scared shitless of not knowing the Sklar's apart.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't be the nicest, always positive, supportive,
They're
nice.
The best.
And they really are. Yeah. Consistently, just always you feel like they're supportive and they like the camaraderie between other comedians. Early on, I couldn't tell the difference. They couldn't be nicer about it.
Yeah.
And when you said, how many times do I reintroduce myself? I reintroduce myself always. I don't care if I had a 3-hour conversation with someone. I reintroduce myself because you know what? Saying, you met me 10 times isn't going to help me.
Right, yeah.
So what, do you forget a lot?
I do it. It happens, and I feel like the biggest turd every time I do it where, you're just in a social setting after a show or something, and there's somebody you're like, oh, I don't think I know this person. I'm always, I introduce myself to people, and I'll be like, oh, hey, I'm Brendan. I don't think we've met. And they're like, we met.
I met you last
times.
night. I met you at the bar
all night at the bar at the Improv. And
I see what you're saying. And that
where some people just aren't memorable.
Well,
you meet 100 people. Well, it is true. Like some people are just kind of like they look like everyone else. They're not.
Or you feel like you have a kind of 1 or 2 random conversations with somebody, and then they go, oh, I met you. I don't know.
At the Improv bar after a show, it's like, oh, well, I had a few in me. I talked to 100 people that night.
Yeah, and also, I don't think it's us trying to be show busy because I defend bartenders. I've been over the years, especially when I was younger, when I would go to bars more, and my friend would go, I tipped that bartender $30 last night. I can't believe he doesn't remember me. Well, he fucking doesn't.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I guarantee you it's not because of anything, especially when it's a bartender, because how cool is it to want to remember people's names? You just meet a lot of people as a bartender.
Yeah.
You just reintroduce yourself. And you know what? Then slowly he'll start to... Because once you put the fear of death into somebody with their name, they're going to forget you. I've had it happen where someone did it once, and I remember thinking, I was humiliated. I didn't walk away angry at the other person, really. I walked away humiliated, thinking, that's blah, blah, blah's wife. Fuck.
I know, it's the worst.
Yeah. So anyway, there we go.
You know, the trick is, I figured it out. I had kind of the same problem.
Write it on their head in magic marker.
Don't introduce yourself. Just say hi.
Oh, well, no, I'm becoming a master of hey, good to see you.
Just got to stay ambiguous.
Ambiguous. Yeah. But it just takes a few meetings sometimes. Like if you're not a comedian and you're just not somebody who's in my everyday life, if you're just somebody I see every month and a half after a show at a place,
and by the way, let me say this: people that have been on, when I say this, we've talked about this before, so I should probably keep this short. But I've been on both ends of it. I'm not saying it in the gross way of I forget people. I've been forgotten.
Oh yeah,
I've been forgotten many times, and I'm always very gentle to the other person. I'm always like, "Don't worry about it. Do not worry about it." I've been there. I try to comfort them.
I cut it off at the pass, where I will, even if it's somebody I've met a bunch of times, and it's like, well, they're kind of famous or whatever, I'll just go, oh, hey, Brendon, I don't know if we've met, but I know, oh, yeah. But it takes that initial, it takes the load off them.
It's a kind thing to do.
Right, because now they're not going to be sweating like, I know I met this guy, but I don't remember his name.
And
he's so good looking, and he's so funny.
So I wrote you an intro. I like to write the intros. Now I think we should roll it in. I really like to enjoy these, so if everybody wants to just... Chris, I'm worried about you biting your fingernails like that.
Todd, I just get nervous for people's intros.
You do? He always gets nervous when he's a big fan of yours. And and he plays the intro.
All right. Now we're talking.
So, Chris, did we say... I don't know why I always feel settled when I say hi to everybody, even in here. Chris, Mikey's here, Katie, Daniel, and everybody's here. Brendon is here.
I'm here.
Brendon Walsh. Okay, what do we have for him?
Start spreading the news.
I like it.
He's made it today.
You crank it up a little?
Yeah, Brendon Walsh is here tonight on the Todd Glass Show. Yeah, that son of a bitch.
Well, no.
He's waltzed on in here.
All right.
Now he stepped right into the fun.
Yes.
On the Todd Glass Show. Yeah, he's gonna make some funny cracks and some funny remarks.
Remember, it's just about rhyming. Don't get caught up.
We'll sit back and laugh. Yeah, so will the crew. He's finally here.
We have waited patiently.
We even waited a little overtime.
Oh, no, this is all...
Then he
not factually accurate.
Up the stairs.
Doesn't have to be.
And we saw his face.
That's true.
That happened like half hour ago.
Yeah.
And now Brendon Walsh is here on the Todd Glass Show. Oh, Brendon Walsh is effing here.
He better go bigger.
Oh, Brendon Walsh, you're here on the Todd Glass Show.
It just never ends.
I like the long intros.
I think it was more about your show. And the guy called me a son of a bitch.
Well, no,
you don't do that.
He meant it affectionately.
I'm a guest.
It's son of a bitch is here. You did get that, right? The son of a bitch is here.
I heard somebody calling me a son of a bitch.
But didn't you ever not see a friend in a long time? You go, you son of a bitch. It means it's a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. You know what?
You would not have been friends with John Wayne. I feel like that's how he called a lot of his people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I do have something else for you if you say...
Brendon Walsh.
Wait, there's another?
On the Todd Glass Show.
It's
Nice and simple.
Daniel, I got one for you.
one.
You know, I never do really one for you. Like, if say something like the end of something, and then play them out on it.
And then that's when the lady walked in.
Daniel Kinno.
There we go.
You should do theme songs for everybody in the room, and that could be your whole podcast.
I'd be thrilled.
We're getting there.
I thought about doing one next week. We have a surprise theme or a parody. I'm not allowed. There's one person that said, "Don't get mad at people when they."
It's crazy how sensitive it is. I know you told me beforehand, but
no, you know what? I want you to be comfortable.
I am. I'm living in fear of touching the mic face.
Shh, that's getting edited out. I'll never let the listeners hear that you're scared. This will be the most comforting experience you'll ever have. Would you like a hand
Are you
massage?
cold, nervous, and scared? Then
welcome to the Todd Glass Show.
I'm comfortable.
Okay,
comfortable, relaxed, and not in fear.
I forgot that before when you were coming in today, I was talking to Katie, and she reminded me of something you did, which I've probably told 100 people because it's such a great prank. Because who would ever fucking think to do this one prank? So I'll tell you what it is. I hope I get it right.
Yeah.
I think the fact that you put a Whole Foods coming soon sign somewhere, right?
Two.
Someone would think
where.
In front, am I right that something closed
it's
down?
A Circuit. There's a vacant Circuit City in Silver Lake that's been it's been vacant for 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm. And when the reason I know that's such a good prank is when Whole Foods is going to open up somewhere, it excites the fucking neighborhood.
Yeah.
One, because Whole Foods is going there, and usually two, it means that whole shit corner is going to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when Starbucks. So the fact that you would think that's such a subtle thing to do.
I know.
So you go, what do? You just make it on your computer and then you go blow it up?
Yeah, made it on my computer, went to a banner store.
Can I ask questions?
Yeah.
Did you look at other signs and copied it, made it look as official as possible?
No, I mean, I just got the logo and then wrote, in Photoshop, coming soon. And then it said coming soon up top and then the Whole Foods logo and then Silver Lake, which I learned after that Silver Lake
Do you have it on your phone?
2 words. I have a photograph of it on my phone.
Well, the thing is, no one's looking for it, so you're very safe, even if you didn't use their logo. You could, you could.
Yeah.
So it's So someone said they wrote an article, wasn't it like
there were a bunch of blogs and a bunch of food blogs and stuff.
We can put this up online.
Yeah, I can email it to you.
I wouldn't doubt that for a second.
No, why would you?
Yeah.
It looks totally official. Yeah. And we got 2 of them made. Tall John helped me with it.
Oh, you serious?
Yeah.
I wanted to do it so bad over here because Circuit City right next to us closed down, and I thought, and someone told me Whole Foods might open there. So then when they said you did that, I'm like,
we could do it to this one too.
So what happened?
They opened up a. Here's the disappointment. Talk about from Whole Foods. Then guess what opened up there? It's already opened.
Where?
Whole Foods. I heard Whole Foods might open up. The Circuit City closed down. That's what I heard. Whole Foods. I think people, every time something closes down, people go, Whole Foods. I heard Whole Foods is going to go up.
Yeah.
Guess what? Couldn't be any more anticlimactic. Fucking Ross.
Oh, Ross Dress for Less.
Yeah, Ross. Even though I've gone there occasionally and get some good, like knickknacks there, but the clothes. Unless you're extra, extra, extra large, it's really there's not a lot there's slim pickings. Anyway,
so all of a sudden people started talking about it.
It was amazing how immediate it was. Where we went and did it at I don't know 11 in the morning or something. Mm-hmm. It was over Labor Day weekend too, which was intentional because I knew it would be an extra day. Mm-hmm. Like they wouldn't be able to get in touch with anybody at Whole Foods till Tuesday. So we did it on Friday and or maybe it was Saturday morning. Either way, by the time we got to breakfast, like me and Tall John, a few people came just to hang out and watch and help. Kyle Dunnigan took some pictures. And then we went and had breakfast, me and Kyle either way. So
don't mention Kyle Dunnigan on the show. He's dead to me.
Oh, I forgot about your thing with him.
I'm just kidding. It's fun to say people are dead to you, even if they are dead. We talked about that on the show. Elvis Presley is dead to me. He's dead for real.
Everybody.
No, he's dead to me twice because he died 2 years before he died, and then when he really died, of course. So by
the time we got to breakfast, Twitter was already it was going crazy. It's a high traffic area, and everybody that saw it in that neighborhood got really excited.
It's just such a weird thing for you to think of. Like, you're sitting around.
But it's my favorite. That's my favorite thing. That's
like,
my favorite
like
form
that?
of humor is to just confuse and annoy people. Like, there's nothing like, that somebody laughing. It's like, that's satisfying. But what's more satisfying is just somebody like making a face like, but why would they do that?
What type of joy could they get out of that?
And that's the joy. It's like, because people don't know what to fucking think.
You're in essence not disagreeing with those people. You're going, you're right. It's very subtle, the joy, but it's there. Your confusion is my joy.
That's what it is. Yeah. It's just a like, I don't know where it comes from, but.
Hey, so wait, hold on. Was there more from Twitter and then?
So Twitter, it was there were a lot of people getting very excited on Twitter, and then there was this LAist blog wrote a thing about it, and then another like East Side food blog. There were a lot of blogs that were picking it up, and then it was nice to watch the arc of it, where everybody's very excited, and then one of the blogs, I think it was the LAist one, just said, somebody just told us this might be a prank. And then all the comments and stuff were, why would they do that? Who would do that? Like, that doesn't make sense. There's banners and time, like, nobody's going to do that. And then it was just fun to watch the shift of everybody being very excited, and then like, why would this be a prank? And then that Tuesday...
Do you remember when the poster first got taken down? Were you watching every day? Was there a day when you went, it got taken down?
I knew it was going to be gone on Tuesday. I drove by the first business day after Labor Day weekend, and I was gone by 11.
The Whole Foods where
and we used cable, and so like I made it difficult to like, it wasn't just zip ties. Like, they had to get like I guess they could just cut the banner.
Were you nervous putting it up?
No, we did it broad daylight. Cops are driving past us. Why again?
Why?
What are we? Who's going to question two grown men?
Yeah, putting up a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Hold on, Bob. That looked a little fishy. I did the old fashioned.
Whole Foods authorized? Let me see some ID.
Yeah. Hold on. I got this one.
And I was doing it broad daylight with Tall John, who's 7 feet tall. So it's like we were fucking the most obvious.
I go to the Whole Foods once in a while up on Fairfax. I don't go that often because
bragging a little.
Well, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. But everybody's dying in that. Hey, you know what? Maybe I do it too. I hope I don't, because they say you hate or dislike in others what you see in yourself.
Yeah.
And if that's
good-looking people, that's I hate. Good-looking people.
Everybody wants to look at everybody so fucking bad.
Yeah.
But nobody will look at anybody. There's definitely, you don't think it's like that there? I just get the feeling at that Whole Foods, it's a very like, I don't know, maybe.
It's West Hollywood Whole Foods.
I say hi to people. Like when I walk by, I definitely feel it there. I had told that to my sister-in-law about Whole Foods, and she goes, I don't notice it at mine. And when I was in Philly, I went to Whole Foods with her, and I definitely felt a different energy there. It was
the one on South Street there?
No, she lives in the suburbs, Newtown Square. Look at you. You're
I grew up there.
Oh, that's right. Where did you grow up in Philadelphia?
Tacony, Mayfair.
Where's that?
Northeast Tacony. It's right over the Tacony-Palmyra Bridge.
Tacony. I can never say that. Say it again. Tacony-Palmyra Bridge.
Yeah.
And then what's the other bridge? There's a bridge that sounds like
Walt Whitman.
It would sound like a singer. Like it would be a good name for like a guy. Hey, everybody, this is.
Up in the Northeast.
No, another bridge there. It's worth thinking about. Hold on. It's called. Hey, give me another bridge.
Well, there's Ben Franklin.
No.
The Tacony-Palmyra, the Walt Whitman.
No. Once we hit it, it's like, hey, everybody,
Betsy Ross.
This is the Betsy Ross Bridge. Well, we'll think about it.
I think I know you're talking
Commodore Barry.
Commodore Barry. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, everybody, this is Commodore Barry. I'll be right back. It's a bridge, but it also could be a person.
Where is that one?
I don't know, but I know it's take the Commodore Barry Bridge.
Yeah, I never took it. I don't think I've ever been on the
Commodore Barry?
I don't know.
Somebody Google it. I bet he was some kind of, Army guy or something.
A Commodore? You don't think he was one of the Commodores?
He was one of the four tops.
All right, so we got that. See this? This is a Post-it now. Maybe the listeners can call in or not call in because we don't have a phone. I wish we did. Oh, I wish we had a phone. That's all I want.
Maybe.
Hello?
Oh yeah, go ahead. You're on the air with Brendon Walsh. Go ahead.
Yes, hello, Brendon.
Yes.
Yes, I'm funny that you're so upset about when someone said your name wrong. I live in the area where you put that poster up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll tell you what, that wasn't appreciated.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, ma'am. What's that have to do with the pronunciation of my name, though?
Well...
So you think I deserve having my name mispronounced because I put a gerbil in your condom?
Howard Stern.
All right.
Oh, wait. Those Stern
All
fans.
right, they do that. I don't even care. I'm a huge fan of Howard Stern. So we have a few clips we're going to play, and that will evoke conversation. Is that the right word?
Sure, if that's what you're trying to do.
I want to do. Is that what your show's about? God damn it. So we'll. I want to play. You have a few, right, Daniel?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I like it.
clips.
I love clips.
Yeah,
I love clips. But I found one of George Carlin, or did you find the one of George Carlin?
Well, it doesn't matter. It was on the internet.
We don't have to.
It got found.
You know what, though? If you found it, I want to give you credit.
Sure.
Did you find it?
Yes.
This better be fucking good then.
Yeah, exactly.
I put all the pressure on you. I
what
love
is
that this is just... You know, I don't know what year this is, but George Carlin was probably big and in a theater.
And
so
who's
this is a heckler?
George Carlin?
He's just shutting up a heckler.
Musician guy or something?
Oh, no, you don't know who George Carlin is?
No.
Oh,
the Parliament Funkadelic guy.
No.
Are you serious? You swear to God you're serious?
Yeah, stack of Bibles.
You don't know who George Carlin is?
It sounds familiar. I know he's
Brendon,
it
doesn't bode well for you, for your comedy credentials.
Brendan, how could you not know?
Oh, is he a booker?
Hey, Chris.
With the bailouts.
All right, so he's a booker. That's all you can think. What would be the worst mistake I could make? Who could George Carlin be that would really be where I'd go, God, son of a fuck, a booker? So I just love that at this point in his career, I remember once going to see Rodney Dangerfield when I was like 15 and he got heckled. And I didn't really think anything of it until later when I did comedy. I went, yeah, that was like a 3,000-seat theater, and Rodney still had to deal with fucking hecklers.
Yeah. And the heckler was your dad, which made him worse.
Hello.
Did I? There was an article about comedy in the New York Times magazine this morning, and the guy told the story about going to see Henny Youngman in the '90s. This is toward the end of his career, obviously his life. I don't know why I had to say that, but it was the late '90s, and he was sitting next to him, and Henny Youngman was watching his opening act doing crowd work. And he was just, so disgusted. And he goes, where are you from? Where are you from? Who cares? They paid to see you. Do your jokes.
I think I love Henny Youngman.
Isn't that great?
Oh, and by the way, well, we don't need to talk about that. When I go on the road, I'm not talking. It depends how long you've been doing comedy. If somebody's been doing comedy 1 year or 2 years or whatever it is, very in the early stages, there's not a mistake I didn't make. So I'm going to be very sympathetic to someone else and more helping than being criticizing somebody.
Right.
But when you're working with someone that's been doing comedy for a long enough time to know better. Mm-hmm. It is frustrating when they're asking too many questions to the audience because it's and I used to say don't ask questions, and then they would go, no, I don't ask questions, and then they would just say I don't talk to the audience, they would say. But they would
I don't do crowd work.
I don't do crowd work, but they don't think it's crowd work to go, hey, how many people have been to Target? I heard a comedian once say, who's having a birthday? Everybody!
Yeah.
Everybody in the fucking room's having a birthday! They either had it today, or yesterday, or the day before, or the day before. Everyone's got a fucking birthday! So do your birthday joke.
Who's celebrating anything?
Everybody!
It's the worst.
That one. So anyway, this is George Carlin. This is George. Hey, after this, we got another hot topic.
Oh.
This is George Carlin dealing with a heckler. I just love it.
Somehow, Pope Corky I doesn't command a lot of authority. Now, would somebody just put a dick in that guy's mouth, please? Because that's what he wants. He's a cocksucker in disguise. He's got his mouth open because he wants someone to come in it.
Oh,
now, do you want to keep making noise, motherfucker, and we can find you that way? Or are you just a punk, coward, asshole, bullshit, loud motherfucker, and you're going to shut up now so we don't find out where the fuck you're sitting? Because if you keep it up, we'll grab your ass and throw you on the fucking street where you belong with your mother. And I'm fucking her in the asshole every night anyway. So fuck you and your sister and your wife. If you got a kid, I hope your fucking kid dies in a car fire. How do you like that, you stupid cocksucker? Shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of here. You know?
I love to see that he gets that frustrated because it's like, well, not much changes, right?
Yeah.
It
just never ends.
What?
It never ends.
I mean, obviously, I try to be a positive. Not obviously, I try to be a positive person. But yeah, there is a part of that goes. I guess it never does. It never does end. You know.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. Obviously, you get as your career gets larger and more people are there to see specifically you, and you're doing theaters and stuff. Like, yeah, you're not getting just random drunk people that got cold called by the club and got free tickets. But there's still going to be like, yeah, where he wasn't at like fucking, side splitters in Tampa when that happened. He was like, that was probably in a 1,500, 3,000 seat theater.
Side splitters. Have you been there?
Not in a long time.
Ugh, gross.
yeah.
Does it
work it?
Tampa?
I don't anymore.
No, yeah, I mean,
that's all I have to say. If they asked me to do a commercial for side splitters,
you don't want to work it again.
No. And if this got back to him, I wish. Here's how I think it's a nice way to be insulting somebody. I wish him, obviously, to be healthy and no pain, and anybody who loves to have a happy life. I wish him. I'm comedically saying this, but I'm serious about what I'm saying. I don't wish anybody harm.
Yeah.
I don't wish anybody harm. I wish happy, healthy. If he has children, I hope that they're healthy and they're happy because that's so important. But as far as your club goes, close it. Close the shithole.
Well, anyway, you don't have to. I mean, people like to go there, I guess.
No, they don't. Yeah. They don't know any better. No one likes to go there. I talk to a lot of people. Nobody likes to go there except idiots. Only idiots. After the show, I go, "Do you like coming here?" They go, "I like to come here." That's the only type of people that like going there. Anyway, but that'll get edited. No, it won't get edited out. So you
edit it in again. Make it happen twice.
Yeah.
Instead of editing things out, you get an edit and then you put it back. You put it in there again.
That's the week for me. Edit it out, Katie. Edit it in. Edit it out again. Edit it in. So Daniel, give me some clips. I love clips because I don't know why. I love rolling in clips. It gets my goat.
Well, Al Franken. I have a couple of Al Franken clips. I love Al Franken. I don't know if you're a fan.
Again, never heard of him.
Al
no,
Franken,
you've heard Al Franken.
Come on.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Are you to George Carlin? Do you know what that means when we say it on the show?
To George Carlin?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, Katie. You said he knew what to George Carlin meant. No, it means I don't say I swear to God. I'll just say to George Carlin, and it's a trust between the audience. Because sometimes you really need them to believe you on something, and it really is a good safe word to genuinely have. So to George Carlin, you obviously know who Al Franken is, obviously.
Right.
Are you a fan? Or it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. But
it doesn't really matter. You know why I say that? Because I can smell, Brendon, that you're going to fucking tell us you're not.
You're not.
I can smell it from a fucking mile away that you're not going to. Are you going to be a no? Are you going to be one? Are you going to be a no and maybe guy today?
No.
Here's why. You know what? When his books, I might agree with you on his book, but what I love about him is that he was just another liberal who was had all these ideas and criticizing everybody on the other side, but then he definitely put his money where his mouth is, and he got elected, and he went to Congress or Senate, and he's really doing it. I think he's really doing it, and here are some clips.
Well, here's why I like, and by the way, it's all safe here. Mm-hmm. I hope I didn't come off harsh.
Well,
because you are my friend, and I do love you. Let's play some meditation music in the background. I think we need to have a...
Can we have meditation music with the George Carlin rant on top of it?
Well, you know what's funny you say that, Brendon, because Eddie Pepitone was here last week, and he's very into meditation, but he also has a temper.
Yeah.
So we just pictured him driving around in his car, with all the music playing, and he's still, just driving around going, "Get out of my way! I'm on meditation!" Yeah. Oh, yeah, even getting mad at the chant itself.
Yeah.
Fucking Om! When is this Om gonna do something for me? Circular breathing, my ass! I've been circular breathing, and it's not bringing me any clarity at all. Om! Fuck Om! I need a word that will bring calm to my soul! My soul is having a goddamn nervous breakdown. Sorry. There we go. I love that. What was the word I stole from you? You said your circular.
Breathing.
Your circular breathing. Is that a meditation?
I think
term?
that's a meditation. Yeah, you try to get it going to where something.
Stop. Back to the show. See what happens when I don't smoke in the beginning part of the show. I have clarity like a motherfucker. So what I like about listening to some of the Al Franken clips is that usually when two people debate something, most people, if you like, let's say you like, Bill O'Reilly, and then somebody else is arguing with him. Whoever likes Jon Stewart is going, man, Jon Stewart really boom.
Yeah,
and the people like Bill O'Reilly, I get it. Most of the time, that's just the way it is. It has to be very. So, or when two people get into an argument, they both leave and feel they both won. I feel like sometimes when Al Franken takes someone on, they walk away. Now, I'm not saying he changed their view always, but they feel like they got the fucking shit punched out of them. Like that comedic ability to make a point.
Like when I don't know if you ever watch congressional hearings. I do. And sometimes you'll just get the feeling of, okay, the senator, whoever it is, they have to ask questions. That's their job. And then this person comes in, and they have to say, their things, whatever they say, and they don't necessarily have to answer the questions. No one's really there going, you didn't, no one ever asks the second question and goes, you know what, that's not true, or whatever. So, people, and then they walk away, and you never feel satisfied.
There's never, debates and stuff these days. Nobody's saying anything.
Right.
Nobody's calling anybody on their bullshit, ever.
Right. Well, that's why I said a good debate would be. If a good debate would be, it could be where they take one topic and they debate it for an hour. Because when someone doesn't answer, at one point you have to go, well, we got to move on. I can't keep saying, even as the interviewer, you still haven't answered that question. Yeah. Wouldn't it be great to watch them just for 1 hour? They can't change topics. They just got to go boom, boom, boom. But anyway, you have. What is this?
So I have a couple of things on Al Franken. One of them, it was a congressional testimony. This group focused on the family, and their whole thing is very Christian and very against gay rights.
Right, come on, you're not going to bring that
gay
rhetoric.
Adoption.
Ugh.
So this is them. They were lobbying against gay adoption. And they were citing a report.
So this is for people who want to adopt gay kids?
This is for people who, straight people who want to adopt gay-only kids.
And straighten them up.
Yeah, straighten them up.
These are tits, son!
Imagine that. You're the most twisted, evil person in the world, but you think you're doing a good thing. We're going to adopt gay children.
We do a lot for charity.
We're helping. So roll this. So they're against, and they use...
And they cite a report, and it's very self-explanatory.
They cite a report, but they tilt their own...
Yeah, it's very self-explanatory.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Minery, on page 8 of your written testimony, you write, quote, children living in their own married biological or adoptive mothers with their own married biological and or adoptive mothers and fathers were generally healthier and happier, had better access to health care, less likely to suffer mild or severe emotional problems, did better in school, were protected from physical, emotional, and sexual abuse, and almost never live in poverty compared with children in any other family form. You cite a Department of Health and Human Services study that I have right here from December 2010 to support this conclusion. I checked the study out. And I would like to enter it into the record, if I may.
Objection, so
And it actually doesn't say what you said it says. It says that nuclear families, not opposite-sex married families, are associated with those positive outcomes. Isn't it true, Mr. Minery, that a married same-sex couple that has had or adopted kids would fall under the definition of a nuclear family in the study that you cite?
I would think that the study, when it cites nuclear families, would mean a family headed by a husband and wife.
It doesn't. The study defines a nuclear family as one or more children living with two parents who are married to one another and are each biological or adoptive parents to all the children in the family. And I frankly don't really know how we can trust the rest of your testimony if you are reading studies these ways.
How great was that?
I think that's brilliant. I mean, look, obviously, when these issues come across the table now, I'm being honest about who I am. It has nothing to do with that at all. It doesn't. Of course, I'm not like, it's just like, what cracks me up about that is, what do we talk about? I hope I can get this crystal clear. What do we talk about? There's two types of advancements in the world. There's sociological advancements, and then there's
technological advancements.
Yeah, and I feel like when it comes to technical things like computers and the advancements of cars, we're pretty far along, because thank God the people that do that don't use the mindset that people like that do. They have a thought in their head, and even if all the facts argue that, they hold on to it with dear life.
Yeah.
Because if that study's right, and if Al Franken made sense to that guy, and he really didn't care about being right, he didn't give a fuck about being right. He just wanted things to be right, like a scientist would, trying to cure a disease. He doesn't give a fuck. A scientist, if he thought, I could cure this disease if I did this and then this and that didn't work, he doesn't give a fuck what he thought. He wants to cure a disease. So in this case, here's a guy probably just uncomfortable with a guy and a guy, or a girl and a girl, even though science will tell him he's wrong. If he is wrong, he's got to change his belief. And sometimes changing your belief blows. It's hard to do. Yeah. So he would rather hold on to an archaic belief as opposed to going, hey, am I wrong here? Because I don't give a fuck if I'm wrong. I'll change. Yeah. And that study that he's referencing, that's the difference. That study that he's referencing, no one made him read that study. He's referencing that study. So Al Franken has every right to shove that study in his face. He's referencing.
He has to reference a study for it to be legitimate, and whatever he references won't have the evidence that he's trying to come up with, so he has to kind of tilt the truth a little bit.
Yeah.
That happens a lot when you're trying to support not to make this religious, but that happens a lot when you're trying to, blend in your religious beliefs with political beliefs. You kind of have to fudge some facts.
No, it's insane. It's insane. I'm not a religion hater. Like, whatever you need, I don't claim to know what's going on. Like, who knows? Maybe the Bible's maybe that's 100% factual. But I don't.
Well, you don't believe. You can't.
Well,
say
obviously,
that.
I'm a rational human being, but like, I can't say like, oh, that's all bullshit, because who knows what's happening.
You don't want to mirror the behavior that's upsetting to you,
right?
You're saying I'm not sure. So I believe it or not, even though because of some things I might have said on the show, I'm not a religion hater too. I just because I don't want to mirror it. I'm not sure is all I'm saying, but
it's a problem when people start using it as a tool, and it is, however it sounds, that's with all these like crazy Republican and political parties I don't give a shit about either, but these Republicans are fucking insane. Like the fact that Rick Santorum and the Sarah Palin and that Michelle Bachmann, like that these people are taken seriously for a second horrifies me. Mm-hmm. And it's all because they realize that people who are super religious are easy to manipulate. And it's just like if people are going to like buy into this book and go, well, I can't fucking do this because then then this will happen. Those people, it's easy to use that as a tool to control them, and that's where the problem is. It's like, go believe in whatever you want, and if you got to hate people because your religion, that's fine, but just go do your thing. It shouldn't be part of like the rest of rational society. We shouldn't be dealing with it.
You can't be in charge. I've said this to you before. Like, you can't be in charge of me when we fundamentally disagree on something this big. Like, if you're president and you really are that religious, you don't really care about the planet that much. To you, this is just a waiting room until you get to the after party that lasts forever in heaven, and that's going to be great. Yeah. Like, I don't believe in that. To me, like, this is it. The planet is the only thing that's ever going to happen to me. So why don't we do the best we can to take care of it? And a lot of the religious
rational leadership would be a nice change of pace.
I thought about something because I am with you, even though some of my past comments might have people go, well, no, Todd is a religion hater. No, I get we have people that listen to the show that probably believe in God or whatever, and I don't want to so I was driving down the street the other day, and for some reason I hit it from another angle. Because, you can't sit in a room and go, I believe in God, I don't. Nothing ever comes out. If you really believe, you're not going to change your mind. If you really don't believe, you're probably not going to change your mind. But I thought about something, and I wish I would, it's almost like a good experiment to do, to go into the next argument. I'll never do this, but it's just a hypothetical. As you're religious, you are religious, you do believe in God, but tell people, and this mostly goes to the people that say, especially the holy rollers.
Yeah.
The holy brothers that say, I absolutely have spoke to the man upstairs. And to anybody like that, or even not the holy rollers, even someone that goes to church every Sunday and goes, no, there's no doubt in my mind. But they have a huge house and a Lexus, and I know this is brought up before, but I'm hoping I'm hitting it from a little different angle. I wish I was just PR, not even saying there's no God, going, oh, I believe there's a God too.
Yeah.
But you guys have got to stop. Now, I'm not saying because you've had an experience with someone upstairs. Can you imagine if you really did? In other words, what I'm saying is those people are their worst enemy. They think that other people are arguing against religion. You people are fucking yourselves so bad more than anybody else could. Because if you had an experience with someone upstairs, not thought you did, you're 100% positive you spoke to an entity upstairs, a man. Do you realize how little materialistic things would mean to you if you truly did that? Now, would you still want shade? Yes. Would you still want food? Yes. Could you still have a car? Yes. But there's no fucking way that you'd need a mansion.
A boat, or, right?
You would need all that stuff. So it's like, I feel like saying to those people going, hey, come here. I believe in the God too, but you got to stop buying all that crap. You can't have churches that are $20 million, $40 million, whatever they are. Come here, you got to stop that. I'm the new PR guy for religion. And then they go, what do you mean? Well, look, don't rattle off part of the Bible, please. It says God wants riches to be. I'm talking to you as a person. I'm trying to help you. I am trying to fucking help you. I want more people to believe that you really did speak to someone upstairs. You got to stop buying shit.
Yeah.
You look phony. And then they would never stop buying shit because I think a lot of them are phony.
They're charlatans,
Yeah, I respect more people that take a vow to God, even though I'm not sure what I think. That, like monks or people that really do give a vow of, they don't care about anything materialistic. At least they have follow through. But the ones on TV, or the people that, have it's like, there's no way. You're the one claiming you had this connection. For some reason, to repeat that is cathartic for me to go, you spoke to someone upstairs.
Like Pat Robertson, doesn't he say
all
he
those
talks
guys.
to God and
shit?
shit?
They're not saying they're pretty sure they have or they have a feeling. They spoke to him.
Yeah. But they're con men. I mean, I don't believe for a second that any of those guys believe the shit that they're saying.
But the slant I took it from the other way is they're not a con man. They're not being exposed for being a con man because of what you say or what I fucking say. They're their worst enemy.
Yeah.
You can't keep buying shit. You spoke to can I tell you, if I spoke to someone upstairs, if I really did, if one day it happened, I don't know if I'd give a fuck about a Lexus the next day.
No, it would change everything.
It would. Again, you'd still want shade, you'd still want water, but you realize after the bare necessities that everything else is probably pretty good to give back to the earth or the world or starving children. So it's like going, don't worry about, they're all so upset with Bill Maher or his movie or something that might come out of my mouth. That's not your biggest problem.
Yeah.
You're your fucking biggest problem. The reason the whole world is going, is because of what you did. You don't want to believe that, but let me tell you something. You're your biggest fucking problem.
Yeah. Well, that's people that you're just not happy with yourself. Like if you're... like the people who are like just aggressively against gay marriage and just any of these like crazy religious like right wing, like the Obama haters. And I mean, I guess the gay thing is a big issue, but it's like, well, you people just aren't happy with yourselves, really. I mean, that's what it comes down to. When you just spend so much time pointing out everybody else's, well, this is wrong and that's wrong and these people are wrong. It's like, well, just look in the mirror. You're angry because you don't like yourself, and we all do it. It's like I'll notice like when I'm like I've been like gaining some weight recently. Like I've in the last month I've gained like 15 pounds. So I'm like I'm all uncomfortable. Like my weight will fluctuate within that range, and but I'm like definitely at the high end. And so, like, I'm just, like, not comfortable. Like, you know, do you get, like, gain and lose weight regularly?
I've gained 30 pounds, and I know what you mean.
You're just kind of, like, you don't feel good. And then, like, I noticed, like, I start talking more shit about people. I'm like, oh, I saw a comedian last night. I fucking hate that. And it's, like, totally unsolicited. You know, and I'm like, oh, I'm... not happy with myself. That's why I'm looking for things to be angry with.
That's a really good point, because when you are happy with yourself, now outside you could be as happy with yourself and still be worried about someone that's being hurt. But when your concern is something, two grown adults that are doing something and causing harm to nobody. Yeah, you probably got to look at yourself. Really, is that your cause? You know, no, you know what I mean. Like if you're worried about starving,
or just
children,
be honest. Be honest about it and go like, I just fucking hate gay people. That's all. I don't know why. It just fucking makes me sick. Like, it's like these Obama, what do they call it? The Tea Party people. Just come out and say you don't like black. Say you're a fucking racist. That's all it is.
There's no way you're living this fulfilled, intelligent, entertaining life, and you're following all your dreams, and it's amazing, and yet you take the time off to go march against people's rights. There's no way.
Well, by the way, that's a really
happening.
good point, because I think you get into that mushy area. I always try to think, how can I hit it from an angle that might someone go, is that true? Even because you're right. Why is there? This is some of what we're saying is just our opinion. I get it, and people that most of our listeners probably in the same area. I said area, but why is it that most people that do poetry, or people that write music, or people that tend to, across the board, be more open-minded?
Yeah.
You know, like when you're spiritually enlightened, it's funny how you don't find people like, there's always exceptions, but on the most part, you don't find Bob Dylan. There's no,
you find Ted Nugent.
Yeah, there's no Bob Dylan out there going, just this horrible thing about hate about women, or hate about...
Were you just going to try to do a Bob Dylan imitation and then say something hateful?
Damn it, Daniel, you're good. I was. Oh, I don't know about two guys getting married, but I stopped.
But the answer, my friend, is not blowing your friend.
You know what? When you say something like that, it makes me want to go to something to give the show that say that again.
The answer, my friend, is blowing your friend.
We'll take a break, and we'll be back. It's the thought-provoking Todd Glass Show with our guest, Brendon Walsh.
It is exploding, violence flaring, bullets loading. You're old enough to kill, but not for voting.
Maybe I should have gone to something happier. You know what, Brendon, I got to apologize to you. I think after that, give me another, say that again, and we'll go to something else. It's all what you go to. Okay, go give me something. Like a poignant thing, like you just said. Like something. It could be fake poignant.
Oh, fake poignant?
Yeah, it could be fake poignant.
Well, you know what they say. No matter where you go, there you are, bro.
Walking in the sunshine, sing a little sunshine song.
How would that be so perfect?
Smile upon your face as if there's nothing.
Daniel, do you want to try one?
What?
Do you want to try saying something, and then we'll play that music?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
Walking in the sunshine, sing a little sunshine song.
I've always felt that, don't wait for your ship to come in. Row out and meet it.
Walking in the sunshine,
is that a saying?
Yeah, I read that in a book once.
Yeah.
You know what I say when you go through life? Always over-tip breakfast waitresses.
Walking in the sunshine, sing a little sunshine song.
You got one?
I was just thinking, I'd like to. Well, I don't know. I just kind of broke character.
There's no.
I like to overtip buffet. I leave huge tips for buffet waitresses. I go to Sizzler fairly regularly.
Can I tell you and Daniel, you have some more clips which I want to find out, but when someone mentions Sizzler...
come on.
Hey, first of all, what you mean is if you go to Vegas, where there's a buffet. A lot of people don't tip the waiters and waitresses, so you're so aware that
you're getting at least $10 from me.
Shake my hand. I do the same thing.
Do you really?
Well, I always tip properly because it's what somebody should do. Yeah. But there, I just figure, I go, you know how many people just eat all that food and someone... And you know what? It's like, even when they come over and they're overly like, hey, can I get you anything? Because they're trying to make a tip. I'm like, I let them. I go, I can get some order. Sometimes people just leave them $1.
Sometimes the more annoying they are, the bigger I'll tip. I was in Austin and went to a super salad. Do they have those? They're everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. And... which is, it's just like a buffet for $6. You just eat a bunch of salad and a shitty slice of pizza.
Real quick, though, somebody once at a restaurant asked me if I'll have super salad. I'm not even joking. And I said, I'll have the super salad. I thought it was like the super. I fucking love super salad. Who doesn't want a super salad?
How did they react?
She goes, no, it's soup or salad. I was like, I'll take it
when they always fall flat with the waitresses because they're just they're half listening, but they're.
I wasn't being silly though. I really thought she said.
You know how many times you heard that as a joke though? That's like probably the hackiest thing you can say to a waitress.
Oh, I hope not.
It's like they like when the waitress comes over.
It bothers me that somebody even thought I was making some shit joke.
That's probably what she thought. Okay, it's like when you go out to eat and they're like, "Hi, I'm Katie. I'll be your server," and there's always some jerk. "Oh, Mike, I'll be your customer." I did this at the Bright Spot like a month ago. I went there to eat with a few friends, and they had like the appetizers are just listed as apps. So I had the menu, and I said to the guy, I said, I'd like to download the Nachos app. And I did like 2 but said download for each one of them.
Did they?
No, he didn't. He didn't think it was funny.
But
he didn't get it.
Do you sort of in hindsight go, oh, he's probably so deep, so many bad jokes that even if something,
that was pretty good.
It was kind of
no. I'm saying even when a good one comes along.
Oh, he's just so turned off to it.
He wasn't turned off. It was just like. It just like completely went past him where he's just like, okay, you want nachos and then cheese sticks, okay.
Okay, now back to the sizzle.
The super salad. There was a girl who was very like she was annoyed like every 5 seconds. Every time I took a sip of my soda, can I get more Diet Coke? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. You know, more water, more like she came over like a million times. So I left her $20 at the end of the thing, and it was just I got a kick out of it because I knew I was like. That was just rewarding her for like she's going to be even more annoying for the next person.
Well, you know what? Maybe I love you for the wrong reason, but I think you're doing a good thing.
No, I was doing it because she's not making. She probably makes $8 total in a day on tips.
And I've had the mindset of thinking, all right, relax. But I'd like to have the. I like what you're thinking because times are tough for everybody.
Yeah.
And someone else is out there, instead of going, you know what, I'll just be extra nice. I'll really be on top of it. So what if you know they're working for the tip?
Oh.
Hey, someone else should be doing that, and they come over and give shit service, especially in today where times are tough. So you go, you know what, if the worst thing you're doing is working a little too hard, it's good with me, and I'll take care of you.
But it's also for myself because I got to a point where I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, just leave me alone. You know, like in my head, I started hating her.
But at the end of the day,
and then I'm like, you fucking idiot. She's a waitress at a goddamn super. So fucking chill out. Don't.
But what I love about Sizzler, a lot of times when I like salad, but there's got to be a lot in it.
Yeah, man.
I don't like chopping stuff up. I have very little patience. I like having people over for dinner, but I don't really like chopping stuff up. Like, I get very impatient. So what I do is I buy like a lot of spinach.
Yeah.
I'll go buy like 2 big bags of spinach, and then I go to the Sizzler. Now, when you get a salad to go, they give you like 8 million containers because one's for the bread, one's for the.
Oh, and I got to go.
And then I take chopped up cucumbers, like only someone could chop them up. That's all they do. Chopped up radishes, chopped up tomato. I take blue cheese. I just load all the chopped up stuff, the onions, and then I bring it home and I dump it on top. There you go. Oh, you know what? I just thought of. Hold on. The 2 bags of spinach. let me just finish that sentence one more time. So then I go home and I dump all that shit right on top of the 2 bags of spinach. You know, we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna go to the bathroom, and then we got a few more clips. So we'll be right back.
Put a smile upon your face as if there's nothing wrong. Think about a good time had.
Who sings that? George Miller?
Bobby Darin?
Roger Miller. There you go. Okay, Mikey's taking some good pictures
Dennis
over
Miller.
there. You're great. I'm proud of you, Chris. I'm proud of you, Katie. I'm proud of you, Mike. Take great pictures. I appreciate you all. You know what? I'm saying that sort of in a, what would you say it, in a sarcastic tone? Some people
condescending.
But I don't mean it. But I don't mean it that way at all. I think it's my way of selling what I really feel in a comedic way. But I really do. I do think I've said it before in the show. Uncle Frank over at Jimmy Kimmel. That's where this all stemmed from. Would tell his kids, and at his memorial, he told all the kids said, "My dad would always tell us he was proud of us." Because a lot of parents tell their kids they love them, but if you also tell them you're proud of them, kids want you to be proud of them, and then they'll try to.
I think Jimmy said that. I think on his show that night.
Yeah, he did.
Did you go to the memorial?
I went to the memorial too, and
did you bring like headshots and business cards? It was a good network situation.
He did
probably.
a set.
I did.
You did a set?
I
just like seven,
what?
probably though, right? You don't want to go too long.
Sold
at a
CDs
memorial.
afterwards.
Oh, you sold merch?
Is that wrong?
No, I don't
be
think
honest,
so.
Brendan. Is that wrong?
I don't. I think it's no.
I think it's common,
smart,
common etiquette. You don't use
I think
a seven.
it's shrewd.
Somebody wrote BROSE. Hey Todd, don't worry about apologizing for the show. It's always good, and I think that's nice of you. Sometimes I apologize. It's just a vehicle I use to get out evil thoughts in my head. But I hear you. I love when someone writes stuff like that. It's just saying, don't worry, we're with you. We got you. Bros, BROSE. You're a good man. A lot of good people.
What's that? A Twitter name or?
I think that's probably his Twitter name. So you had a Mitt Romney.
Yeah, but that clip's still long. We'll do it next week.
Mitt Romney.
Am I still allowed to talk about what I wanted to talk about him?
About Mitt Romney?
When he strapped his dog to the roof of the car?
How did you fucking know?
I read your mind.
No, because I know it's old news, but I had hey, you're allowed
old news.
You're allowed to have a thought in your head. I
Yeah.
thought about that. There's nothing you need to by the way, there's a but coming at the end of this. Sometimes the only thing you could do, sometimes you have to defend someone even if you don't like who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So believe me, I would love to say, all right, I'm not crazy about him, but stop with the fucking dog on the roof. I love animals, and that's not the worst thing in the world. I would love to say that. I really would. Because then, you know why I would love to say that? Because then it looks like you're not just picking on the guy. Like, guess what, though? I can't. That is... And why am I bringing it up now? Because I've never talked about it before. I thought about it the other day. Is it that bad? Okay, maybe I wouldn't do it, but is it that bad? Can it just be something you wouldn't do?
Seamus.
But
Seamus, right?
But guess what?
That's the dog's name.
It is that fucking bad. And I'll tell you, here's the way I put it. There is I'm sure that they bolted that dog up there, the crate that it was in. It was in a crate, a sealed crate, probably locked. There is probably a 1% chance, if that, that dog would fall off the roof. But on that alone, how could you fucking enjoy that ride?
Yeah.
On a 1%, on a 0.5% chance, I'm scared shitless a mattress is going to fly off the roof.
Yeah.
When people that strap mattresses to the roof every fucking day of their life, I'm still a little scared. To put a living, breathing thing, and no matter what you know about dogs or no matter what you think, if that dog would fall off the roof, it would hurt. It would feel pain. So on the 1% chance, that says something about him.
Well, that aside,
am I right?
Physical danger.
Yeah, you have to be a psychopath.
When you're running for the position of leader of the free world, that's not solid decision making. Like if you're making those kinds of decisions on a family vacation, I don't want you in charge of any shit that's going to involve me.
Yeah, so it doesn't.
That's some backwoods. That's just somebody who's out of touch.
It certainly wouldn't do this. It certainly wouldn't let people think you're flooded with empathy and compassion. You know what I mean?
Well, he's like a prototype. Like him, I thought it was hilarious when Rick Perry was still in the race because, like, these are both the same guy. Like, it's the same.
Yeah, he's the southern version of Mitt Romney.
It's like it's the guy that you would use to make an evil leader in a movie. Like, they're perfect for like. You know, when like an alien has taken over somebody's body and the president is now like an evil alien robot guy.
Mitt Romney looks like the guy who would become president if it was a reality show.
Yeah.
Like he looks like a reality show president.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You know, I don't think that there's ever been a time where who's running for. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's okay. I'm willing to educate myself. People, like I always say, when the show's off, people tweet things or you tell me things. Has there ever? Also, I'll ask: Has there ever been a time that the candidates have been so far off as where we are? Like, I feel like we're doing.
I don't think.
I think we're making major progress in so many areas. But then when I hear them speak, I go, "What the fuck? I thought we were past that."
No, it's not that we're past it. It's a new thing, I think. It's where there's no merit. You don't have to. There's no credential. Like, you just, anybody can run for president. And I think Clinton was the last kind of good guy who made it through. And then once that Howard Dean shit happened, that's when all bets were off. When they played him saying 600 times in a day on CNN. That's
why would he have been a good? Would he have been?
He was a solid. He's a fucking surgeon, self-made
smart.
man.
And they took that one clip. Look, I don't want to get too conspiracy theorist on this. Some people might say that he was too smart and he had too great ideas, and there might have been some sort of a conspiracy to take him down. But they really took him down. They played that clip over and over again until the image you had of him was of a lunatic.
Yeah.
And then
that documentary that Arianna Huffington's daughter made, I forget her name. She makes these documentaries. She did one like Travels with George.
Oh, yeah.
And she did another one where she followed John Kerry around.
Right.
And that was amazing because he's dead in the water. He's done for. And then that's what she says in the movie. And she's like, and then this happened. And they go, yeah! They show him do that. And the next day, it's like, all right, problem solved. We don't have to worry about that guy anymore.
These people are weirdos.
Well,
I'm just kidding. The guy who
And another problem is you can go on there and it seems like everything's just it's what you see. It's not what it really is. And then people argue, just like we saw in this thing. They use facts. They say things that might not be 100% correct, but they are 90% they check out, and they get away with majority of these lies.
And they just don't answer questions either. Like, nobody's held accountable. It really is frustrating being an adult in this day and age because we're still, I feel, as powerless as when I was a kid. It's
like what would you do, Todd, if you had a political talk show, right? Like, if you had a show and then say I am a candidate, and I'm going to do what Michelle Bachmann almost did, kind of did on Meet
I'll
the
tell
Press.
you.
Okay, go ahead. So you asked me how I feel about gay marriage.
Well, I would Phil Donahue it, and that's what I call it, by going.
Go ahead. Like, I'm the political.
Okay.
Ask me. So you're against gay marriage?
I hope. By the way, let's go into this knowing that it's not what I'm doing. So if I do shitty at it, it doesn't mean anything at all. But I'm going to give it a shot. Hold accountability. Like, never just if I had a show. Here's the fear, I think, when you have a show and someone doesn't answer a question. You think, I've had it happen even on lighter issues on a stupid little podcast like this. Who am I kidding?
When you say lighter issues, that's when you're smoking a joint with people and somebody steals your lighter.
I like that. That's okay.
Lighter issues. Come on.
Hey, right?
That was great.
Hey, they pay me like upwards of $1,500 a week.
I know what you want. I know what you're looking for. You tried to go ahead. Give him what he wants.
Brendon Walsh.
I know you're trying to say a pithy comment so you get your Brendon Walsh jingle.
Hey, that's the only reason I came.
Pithy. Okay, so hold accountability. Okay, so I'm going to do my Phil Donahue thing here. I would just not. So back to what I was saying. I think you tried. I've seen interviewers where the person doesn't answer the question and they go, "You're still not answering the question."
Right.
They do it again. They're still not answering it. I've seen them even do it twice.
Okay.
They go, "You're still not answering the question." I would hope that I would go, "I will let this whole interview end. You're not answering the question. It's not that I disagree with you. I would hope I can get to that point and let the record show this is all being taped so we can go back and listen to this for clarity.
Yeah.
If you are answering me, I can agree to disagree. But the only way we can agree to disagree is you have to answer me."
Right.
So with that in mind, how will two gay people getting married affect you?
Well, I'm not going to do that bit now because you just kind of answered my question. You would answer. You would.
No. What would
they
you
would
say?
never, they would never ask that question. But Bob Schieffer would never ask somebody.
Why don't you play the person trying to snake around it?
Well, I mean, their go-to is the Bible.
You would say you're saying you would ask this question.
I would try to answer it until they do go to the Bible sometimes, but I would say, this is not a religious show, so I'm not here to promote the Bible or
But I'm a
downplay
religious
the Bible.
person, Todd, and in my religion it says a man shall not lie down with other man. Case closed.
And I'm with you on that. I read the Bible. Hold on. I read the Bible. It says exactly what you're saying. Now we're moving on. On a daily basis, how would this affect you? How would you wake up one morning and this would affect you?
Well, I just, it says in the Bible that it's wrong, and just as long as something like that's going on, I just can't, I feel it's my duty to let everybody know that it's wrong and you're going to go to hell. I don't want to see people go to hell.
This would, well, it's sort of, I don't know, maybe because we both agree.
It's like arguing with a 5-year-old about the existence of Santa Claus. Like, you're never, like, anything like that.
Because I feel like when you give someone the opportunity to say how it will affect them, most of the time they can't because it doesn't.
No, of course not.
In other words, if I asked you, no one, I think. Look,
well, Todd, I could be walking down the street and there could be gay jizz flying out of windows, and it could hit me if they're married and they're allowed to have sex. Gay jizz could fly out of a second-story window and get in my hair and screw up I get hair aids.
We'll take a break. We'll be back.
Walking in the sunshine, sing a little sunshine song.
Oh shit! I had a point. You were saying something about how's this affect you? Does it affect you? Hold on. I really had a thought I wanted to say. I just told her to cut, so it was a seamless edit, and I can take 20 seconds and think. What were you just saying about? Does it? They say that it doesn't affect them.
Bible.
Yeah.
They go to the Bible. How does it affect them? Does it affect you? Will it affect? Okay.
Well, or people going to hell and it affects.
It's okay, Chris. Stay with me here. Sometimes I look over and you're looking down, so I can't get you. Okay, so we'll just go back to what are we talking about here?
So we were just we'll just come back from the jingle. We were talking about.
Well, I said that I'd be walking down the street and gay jizz could fly out of windows onto me.
Oh, that's how it could affect you.
Yeah, that's how.
All right, so I have another Al Franken clip. I don't know if this is too far from the other Al Franken clip that it doesn't make sense that I'm bringing it up right now.
You know what? That's what's great about having your own show. You do whatever you want.
Are we on again now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This is Al Franken. This is I think this is from a couple of years ago. This is right before when the healthcare bill was being debated, and this was one of the lobbyists on the other side. And one of the arguments she put forth is that if we pass the healthcare bill, Obamacare, as it came to be known, that the amount of medical bankruptcies will increase if we move toward quote unquote socialism. So this is Al Franken.
And by the way, I think I heard some of this before, and this sort of gets back to what I was saying before.
You have to hold people accountable for the words coming out of their mouth immediately.
And also, if he is quoting facts, then the other person, if they didn't care about being right or holding on to a belief, they would just say, wait, is what he's saying...
Well, this is a lobbyist, so I don't know if she has any belief in what she's selling.
Then wouldn't she change her view? If I remember what you're about to play, if you really weren't just holding on to that, whether healthcare, what you had in your mind, whether socialized healthcare would be better or worse for everybody, if you were just going, I want to look at facts, and if the facts say it's good, it's good. I do believe there are some people that just have a belief, they hold on to it, no matter what the facts are. Again, unlike in science, we'd be fucked if scientists looked at it that way. Well, here's what I thought, and I'm just going to hold on to it with dear life, even if it means preventing progression. So what Al Franken says here is facts. It's not look. Some of what Al Franken says, if I remember this correctly, is his opinion. But if he's stating facts, the other person should go, "Is that true? Because if it's true, I was fucking wrong."
But hold on. But you have to remember that there's people who need to change their mind because they're just uneducated or just have a wrong opinion of it. That's the public. But the people selling the other side of it, this isn't something they believe in. This is money. This is companies. If we have socialized medicine and everybody gets healthier. Companies will lose money.
Well, the insurance companies. That's the only reason. That's the only reason we don't have a national health care is because there are people getting fucking rich off of
hundreds of health insurance companies would lose money. Pharmaceutical companies would lose money, and they all spend millions of dollars a year paying experts like the one we're about to hear to confuse.
Well, they're
the
not
issue.
experts; they're just fucking shills.
Lobbyists. Yes.
Yeah. So that would mean that at least that other person would have to say, "Hey, if Al Franken said was true, you make that person answer that. What Al Franken just said, if that's true, how do you react to that?" And we don't really ever have that happen. Okay, go ahead.
I think we disagree on whether.
By the way, I say this a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's my own paranoia. It takes a little while for this to breathe, but I don't know. I think it's worth letting it breathe.
I think we disagree on whether healthcare reform, the healthcare reform that we're talking about now in Congress should pass. And you said that kind of the way we're going will increase bankruptcies. I want to ask you how many bankruptcies because of medical crises were there last year in Switzerland?
I don't have that number in front of me, but I could find out. And
I can tell you how many it was.
Get back to you.
It's 0. Do you know how many medical bankruptcies there were last year in France?
I don't have that number, but I can get back to you if you like.
Yeah, the number is 0. Do you know how many were in Germany?
All right, we get it, Al.
From the trend of your questions, I'm assuming the answer is 0, but I don't know the precise amount, and I would have to get back to you.
Well, you're very good. You're very fast. The point is that I think we need to go in that direction, not in the opposite direction. Thank you.
Now, what her retort is that, well, she tried to say, well, you know what the cancer rates are in Germany? And that's what they do a lot. They confuse the issue right away. Right. Well, you were talking about bankruptcies. You said medical bankruptcies. We were discussing medical bankruptcies. And now all of a sudden, you're going to cancer rates. That's 2 different issues.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't just, if someone corrects you on spelling, they're correcting you, hey, by the way, you spelled that wrong. You can't go, oh, well, you know how much better I am in math?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no. We'll talk about math, and I heard you're great in it. But you don't get to just switch topics. You have to say to me, by the way, you can be wrong in a... She gave a stat, would you say? She gave a stat and she was wrong in the stat. You can be wrong in a stat and still go forward and be right in your issue. I'm not thinking she is, but you have to acknowledge that. You can't just plow past. That's what they do. It's like they just plow past it like it's a big plow in New York City plowing the snow off the road, and they just want to plow. No. You just said something. He didn't give his opinion. Fuck his opinion. He gave facts.
Yeah.
Now you got to acknowledge that. And then I'll be with you. I'll go with you. I'll listen more, but you got to acknowledge some of the facts he just said. You don't just get to plow past it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It'd be cool if she said, you know what? You're right.
Because there's just so much bullshit already. Like it's just bullshit. It's just all bullshit that makes everything complicated. Like, things aren't that difficult.
It's so weird to me that people say things like, medicine, how we can't socialize medicine. The government shouldn't be in charge of
and
medicine.
all these assholes talking about, like, well, that'd be socialism. Ask any one of them to define what socialism is, and they won't be able to. And then if you're totally against socialism, well, then get rid of the fucking fire department.
That's what I was just going to say. Military. How about the military? How about the military? The police. You have to have police insurance. Someone broke into your house and is raping you. Well, if you don't have police insurance, we can't come. How about
and
that?
Also, like, I think that's why when people say the government should butt out, I wish they would go, I understand why the government can't butt out, but I wish at times they would. But when they go, they should just butt out, you want to go, well, if the government, let's say it was one person that had a voice, it would go, you kidding me? Yeah. You think I wish we couldn't butt out? You think I fucking liked making a law that you have to strap your baby into the car? Mm-hmm. You think when that day came, it gave me any joy? Picture if it was a person going, I fucking didn't think so. That sucks that the government has to step in and go, guess what, everybody? I know this is going to cause a little controversy. People might agree to disagree or might agree. But when you have a child in the car, you got to strap it in. No, they only had to do that because there's fucking idiots out there. So even me sometimes, I think, I wish the government would stay out of that or this. Even if I did, the bottom line, to give a blanket statement and go, they should just stay out altogether. Well, I think history
they don't
proves
ever do anything with our best interest in mind first. Like the whole seatbelt fucking law, click it or ticket thing. That's not, they don't give a shit. It's just another reason for the cops to pull you over, and hopefully you have a few drinks in you or some weed on you.
I think you might be misunderstanding my point.
Yeah.
You don't really believe that.
Yeah.
You think
click it or it's just another reason to pull people over.
You think the seatbelt law is some sort of a trick to just?
I think, I don't think
to
it's
get probable cause.
Well, hold on. This is always good when it's so as far as because I think you might have misunderstood me because so you think even with the children have to be seatbelted in? You think that's sort of like a? You think that's a necessary law, or do you think?
Maybe for the kids, because the kids are helpless, so it's like, okay, you got to have your kids strapped in, but also it's like, oh, okay, well, if this person's doing that, then when we pull them over, there's got to be some meth in the glove box too, or
you know what? I don't know that I could sit here and go, oh, what are you crazy for thinking that? But
I'm not a total conspiracy, but I think that's definitely an element, and those. I do.
I think a lot of times, though, and I'm curious. Obviously, I lean towards thinking, I don't know, people aren't wearing their seatbelts, and then they get into car crashes, and then they're thrown out of the car, and then I think the seatbelt law might be something that
and then they sue the person that hit them, or they sue the car maker, or they just end up in the wheelchair for the rest of their life.
I got a better one. Talk about taking a 360 here. Talking about the real meat.
Well, 360 is not really doing anything.
What
you end up in the same place.
What do I say? What should I say?
180.
180. Do you ever do that where you say?
Or you could do a 540. Yeah.
540. What would a 540?
You go all the way around once, and then it's 1.5.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to do a 540. Yeah, it's a good one. God, I've been saying that wrong. I always say. You know what else I did the other night? When I think a lot of comedians did this bit, but it never happened to me, where you're singing the wrong words to a song and you don't know, I've been singing that all this time.
Yeah.
For some reason, the other night I was singing. We talked about Mars bars. And I was saying, Peter Paul, almond joy, have nuts. Peter Paul, mounds don't. Sometimes people are like, Peter Paul. What's Peter Paul?
Yeah,
it's just some almond joys have nuts. Peter Paul, I can't even not say it. Do you know
what is it? No, I don't.
Oh, you don't know
that's
it
the
either.
jingle
I know
from
the
Almond
song,
Joy.
But it's not Peter Paul.
It's not. It's sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond joys got nuts. Mounds don't.
Guess who I love? And I say this only to two times on the show. Once to Jen Kirkman, once to Paul F. Tompkins, and once to you. Because over that dumb little thing, it would have driven me nuts. That's what it is, what you just said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Why is
good company?
Why is Burger King holding on? Shouldn't they? Maybe they should just close their doors.
Really? You think they're doing that bad?
Well, that's a good question.
When was the last time you ate a Burger King?
I haven't eaten fast food in 15 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How about you, Chris? Now, let me ask you a question, though, because I don't doubt. No, but be honest with me. I don't doubt that people eat at Burger King. I'm just wondering.
I don't.
Okay, if there was a Burger King, a Wendy's, and a McDonald's, would you go to Burger King ever?
I'd probably go to Wendy's.
Okay, would you ever go to Burger King in any of those three?
If
there's a Burger King and a guy,
the Whopper is at the Burger King.
So you're saying, yeah?
I went. There was a Burger King across the street from my high school, and I would get fucking Whoppers a lot.
You know what?
You smoke a lot of weed in high school?
No, I didn't start smoking weed till I was like 25.
I started later in life, too. By the way, this is one of those things I might be, I don't have to love. The point isn't whether I love Burger King or not. I'm not crazy about it. Is I could be wrong. So some people do crave it. It just always looks to me like maybe someone comes out with an item and then 10 years later they go, I guess people like salads. We'll have to start making salads. And then they do a shake. They're like, people love. But they don't ever do it right away. It's
they are. Somebody was just talking about that their business plan is they just look where McDonald's are and open one up.
That's Wendy's, I heard.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that brilliant? Simple brilliance. Yeah. Wendy's, the founder of Wendy's said that, McDonald's does a lot of research. Dave Thomas said McDonald's does a shitload of research. He's not going to be able to do more. So wherever they open up a McDonald's, they did the research. Boom, I'll put a Wendy's there.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That's how some comedians feel about other comedians' jokes. Look, he's telling that joke for a reason. I guess I'll tell it too. There's a reason it's so good.
Yeah, that's how I get all my material.
I'll cover that topic.
Yeah. Hey,
Wendy's, do you think there's ever going to be a fast food restaurant transformation into a real restaurant? You think you'll ever go to a place and Wendy's and go, this used to be a fast food place, but they got so good and they just snuck it on
they'd
us.
have to sneak it like Chipotle, McDonald's is Chipotle. That's what they...
Yeah, but no one goes to Chipotle for dinner.
He's saying that's the
but
most
sit down.
You're going to have to sneak it in there. Like Wendy's, like it's just always going to be associated with the fast food.
Kind of,
drive-through.
Applebee's,
that kind of shit is like that's fast food
like
restaurants.
I'm saying, do you think Wendy's will ever become like an Applebee's or
No. I mean they'd
McDonald's?
have to change their name and you know.
All right.
Why you wanted to?
And when I said I haven't had fast food in 15 years, it was a I mean, I've had it a couple times, but it's not a. And like Applebee's and TGI Fridays, all that stuff. When I'm on the road, it's not even on my radar. I don't eat that shit.
Subway, a lot of Subway.
Subway, I'll do. There's always some place. There's like a local
Panera Bread. Fuck it, they're everywhere.
There are, but even that stuff, any kind of mass-produced food is just so bad. Like, you ever at the airport, you look at a sandwich, you're like, how's there fucking 80 grams of fat in a fucking tuna sandwich?
Do you know what? I just started looking at the, when they put the salt intake and the sodium intake. I never really looked at it when I was. For some reason, I'm at Starbucks. I would get a egg salad sandwich, and then I would look at the sodium intake. And it's like fucking out of control.
Yeah.
I guess that's what keeps
all
it.
those Starbucks, all the foods at like at airports. I'll look at because it looks okay.
The sandwiches?
The sandwiches, it's like they have to figure out a way to make this. It's like the bread must be horrible for you. Like there's no way. It's like it's atrociously bad. I don't even know I don't know the exact numbers, but next time you look at one of the packages of a sandwich at a Starbucks, it is like. It's worse than a Big Mac. It's like there's literally like 45 grams of fat and like 80 grams of
sodium. I noticed. I was
and
like,
the sodium,
it's like out of control. But anyway, hey,
that's got to be related to the amount of obese people, amount of kids being born with, just whatever degenerative diseases, and the amount of cancer, the cancer rates in America. That's got to be related to all that shit, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't eat that garbage.
Alex bought me for Christmas some trainer sessions with a trainer, and he told me some interesting things. Like you always hear well, people eat a lot of that stuff because it's more. He said because it's easy. It's not cheaper. It's not cheaper. He goes because nature. I think the way he said it was nature won't ever fuck you over. Now it is easier, but he said it's just as cheap to eat
fast food.
No, fast food is easier and it's cheap.
Yeah,
but it's not. There is healthy stuff that's just as cheap, but it's not as easy.
Yeah.
He goes, so in other words, if you really want to eat healthy, he goes, eating healthy can be dirt cheap. Like beans are very healthy for you and cheap. He just said it's not as easy, but eating healthy is
that like your body craves that the fat and the salt, and so it's just this delivery system of like.
I heard that a good way to just a good rule of thumb for healthy food intake is whole foods, just not processed. So if it's chicken, you just buy a fresh chicken and you just bake it and you eat that.
But where would you get a fresh chicken?
I mean, you can. I mean, even the chicken we have. Did you know that I read this report last week that said that chicken now gets like antidepressants put in it. It gets.
I saw that on the news, or they were doing something about how they're in those cages because it calms them.
Mm-hmm.
But. That's you know what,
and then all these girls. There is an epidemic of girls in America getting to puberty.
Oh yeah, they're getting their periods at like 5 now.
That's been talked.
Yeah, it's very
5-year-olds getting their periods.
That's been talked about for a long time.
Really?
I talk about it all. That's what I have a podcast. That's all it's about.
What is the name of your podcast?
It's called. It's called The Bone Zone.
Mm-hmm. The Bone Zone.
Yeah,
and it's mostly about premature period.
No, it's just stupid.
Healthy. Anyway, all right. So let me.
But it's about premature periods.
Let me.
Do you want to do the this thing, the war of Afghanistan?
Nah. We'll talk about that next week. It's a little heavy.
It's gone.
Let's see. Maybe we could move on. We're going to go in for the descent here in a minute. We're actually starting to go in for the descent right now. I'm just curious what you think about this. The new. That's how we'll wrap it up. We'll listen to some good Jay Leno, old Jay Leno. I had a friend, I won't say her name, but she...
Can you say the initials?
I don't even think she listens to the show. But I thought what was weird is that she, another friend of mine, about probably 8 months ago, they made out. There was a party at my house, they made out, which obviously, who gives a shit, you know? And I asked her when he was coming over a little while ago, I was like, hey, wait a second. Didn't you make out with blank? I'm trying to keep it very generic. She goes, no. I was like, I thought you did. Not that I would care.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
I feel dirty even saying I wouldn't care. Two full-grown adults, if there's not lying or cheating or deception, two full-grown adults, especially that they made out. I don't even care if they wanted to fool around. Two
Yeah.
full-grown adults, there's
Maybe
nothing
not at
wrong.
your
Fool
place,
around.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well-
Why don't you just say it?
Fuck.
Fool around? You think that's
have
a weird
sex.
term?
No, because they already made out. So I think what the next thing you meant
Right.
was
Okay.
Well, yeah, but fooled around. You see,
He knew what
I
I
have a
meant.
different like image in my head. It's kind of like you're just getting kind of grabby, you know?
Fool around.
Yeah, you're kind of like exploring each other's bodies.
exactly. You
No,
think-
that's
you
not
think people
fooling
do that?
around.
Hey.
Maybe a little finger blast, a little, a little handy.
Finger bang. My friend Brian.
a
My
finger
friend
bang or a
Bangers,
hand.
how old are you?
38.
38. Have you had in the last 10, 15 years an episode where you fingered
not
somebody?
gross.
Only fingering?
Only finger, and then they didn't want to have sex? That doesn't happen past high school. No one goes, let's stop here. I'm uncomfortable with the rest of it.
Please, this is getting out of control and disgusting. Why? Because people are picturing that and it's gross.
Oh, man.
Oh, they seem to like it. If they like it, they like it. I guess the kids like it. So here's what I was trying to say is that, and I guess it ties into the whole Steve Harvey movie, is that, so anyway, he called me the next day, and I thought, well, she wouldn't lie to me. She knows I'm certainly not someone she would have to lie to if they just kissed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it funny, but and then he called me the next day. He goes, hey, Todd, can I don't know. He goes, I was drunk that night, and when I saw her last night, I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I think I made out with her when I was at your party 8 months ago. And I was like, you know what? I don't think so, because I know her, and she doesn't seem to be someone that would have to lie to me about that, whether they had sex or made out. No matter what you do, you're a full-grown adult.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Before you give me the number, because I know her number, I'm going to go out on a limb, for whatever the reason was worth. We were just being silly on the phone, and go, it wasn't her. I just don't think she would lie about that. She's better than that. She's more of a together girl. She would go, if she made out with someone or had sex with them, she'd be like, so I go, I'm going to go on a limb if this was a game show and say no. He read her the number. It was her. And I just thought it was weird because even though I want to say societally, I'm probably in the middle on that.
Wait, the number, you lost me. So he got her phone number
from a year ago, and it matched up. So it was her. So in essence, she, and by the way,
she lied right to your face.
I don't even care about that. I get it. She did it out of embarrassment or whatever. It's not like I would not trust her with with everything in my life. It was a white lie to get out of embarrassment. Not that she was a dishonest person on who her fiber was. But hold on. But
and we all know this is Cheryl Hines and Eddie Pepitone you're talking about. I've already figured it out.
Do you think maybe she was just nervous, like, because she likes you? Were you guys on a date?
No. Are you shitting me?
Oh, yes, I'm shitting.
Okay. So anyway,
right.
But here's let me get my long-winded question out as they always are. I'm not someone that goes, "Oh, you shouldn't, society makes women think that." And I'm usually someone that says, "Don't buy into society." Look, we've all felt I think pressures of, the norms and what's not norm, but you have to fight that because as a full-grown woman, you have every right to do that. And that made me sad that she thought she would have to, hey, look, and I'm a guy who knows about hiding things that you shouldn't have to hide. But I just felt like that was weird, and I felt bad for her. And then that goes to that whole Steve Harvey movie about, and by the way, if you disagree on this, but that whole wait 90 days before you fool around with a guy, to me that seems to not give women empowerment, but that seems to just throw them back. Hold on to that vagina. Don't let guys have it.
That's the one thing you got on him.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that you have.
Don't give him that. Don't give it to him because is that?
Do you think that's why she said that, or she just kind of was like, just wished it didn't happen? Like for whatever reason, she just wants to make believe it didn't happen because they were both drunk and they still know each other socially, maybe and. I know they don't. No, they didn't because he got her number. But either way, maybe it wasn't like maybe you're projecting that on her, like, oh, this is because society says you're a slut if you make out with someone. Maybe she's just like, I just want to make believe that didn't happen because I'm not proud.
Yeah,
of the
I'm
fact
sure that was why, but I would hope. I don't know. I just thought our friendship. I just remember once being on a long car trip after I went to Vegas, and there were some girls in the car. And again, this is not all girls. This story is proof of that it's not all girls. And it was such a long time ago. I forget the one girl's name, but they all seemed. Every story that every girl in the car had seemed. And again, I over-preface it for my own sanity here. This is not all women. Matter of fact, the women that don't do what I'm about to say are the ones that agree with me. They're like, "Thank you," and everyone's like, all their stories, none of them hooked up. None of them hooked up. One girl didn't hook up. But when I left, you were in the jacuzzi and you had your top off. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but then later, that all took a drastic turn after we all left. Nobody, everything that happened, and we left you. He brought you up to his room at the hotel.
He was about to insert his penis in your vagina when we left. But then he made a left and it didn't.
And one girl, exactly,
rubbed it against my thigh and it took off.
And then he came too early and he had to leave.
Right, exactly. You have the clarity in your head that it all took a drastic turn. And I remember there's one girl in her car. Her name was, I think it was Michelle, and she just it was almost adorable. She goes, "Oh, not me." She goes, "I've been horny and I've been single for a year." And she goes, "And we fucked or we fooled around."
Yeah.
I was like, that was so good for you. It made me think it was adorable almost. Does that make sense? That you're not embarrassed. What the fuck do you have to be embarrassed? Two full-grown adults and you fooled around? So I was just wondering how much of that still exists. And again, I could say don't fall to what society thinks, but I get it. Sometimes you do. But fight that. Women need to fight that. Yeah. And I wonder if that Steve Harvey movie we talk about,
what's this Steve Harvey movie?
Well, about women. He has a
Think
whole...
Like a Man?
Yeah, he has a whole book on women, how to help women find the right man. It seems to be how to make women find the wrong man.
Yeah.
It just seems like we talked about the candidates that are running for office. Do they seem like archaic? Like we've moved past that. And I wonder if a movie like that or that mindset of hold out, women hold out on that, is that just seems so archaic?
Well, it's just silly.
It is silly,
right? Any kind of rules of okay, well, you go out on a date, but then wait 3 days before. It's just what if,
stop.
Is everybody in high school still?
Right. Stop it.
Adults. Meet each other, say how do you do, and then find a place to fuck.
It's all right to fuck.
Yeah, go right to it.
Yeah, just do it like everybody else does. Come up to him after the show, tell him he was funny, and then, wait by the bar, he'll buy you a drink, and then you guys will fuck in his hotel room. Isn't that how everybody gets laid?
One of my favorite jokes, he doesn't do comedy anymore, Kevin Williams. You remember that guy? Did you ever meet him?
He's
Kevin
dead to me.
He actually died.
So
did he really?
No.
Oh, shit.
No, he just stopped doing comedy. And he actually gave me this joke, and I did it briefly, but it's weird. Did anybody ever give you jokes and then you do them like they're your own?
Well, you know what? Sometimes somebody will give me something that happened to them, and I think it's really funny, and I will turn it into a bit. I would say 80% of the time, probably not, but I sometimes. Why is that?
No, it's fine. I felt weird because it was a joke that he had told on stage for a while, and. One night I said, I really love that joke. And he said, you know what? It fucking never works for me. You can have it if you want it.
I'm glad you're saying this because I thought for a second you were going to go, why do comedians
No, but then
that?
I felt bad. Well, this happened to me twice where two people were like, you know what? I'm never going to use this fucking joke. You take it. And I told a few times and then get a phone call. Hey, you know that joke I gave you? I kind of started doing it again. And then you go, oh, okay, I'm never doing that again. I'm never taking a joke from someone where they're like, oh, take this. It's great. I'm never going to do it. And then they... 6 months later, they're like, maybe I will do that. I like that joke.
Not that it should be that in-depth of a conversation, but that's fucking wrong. Once
It's
you
wrong,
give a joke, come on, fucking it's done.
Well, they never became, and it's just something I did a few times, but Kevin's joke, this is the only reason I told the story is because I think I still love the joke, and nobody's telling it now because he stopped and I don't do it.
And you're afraid.
It's just, it's weird. I don't know. It feels weird doing somebody's word-for-word joke.
But like when somebody will come up to you and you go friends have given me stuff and then they go, oh, I love that thing. Like I have writer friends, they don't understand it, but they'll come up with a non sequitur and they're like, oh, do that. And then somebody will come up to you and go, oh, that joke I fucking loved it. Out of the hour that you just did, they point out the one fucking thing you didn't write, and you're like,
thanks.
So I love that. I've given.
All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, the joke is he says that he met a woman after the show, and they took her back to his hotel room. And she comes in and she sees he's got a tripod set up next to his bed, and she's like, "Oh no, hey, I'm not into that. I don't want you to film anything or whatever." And he goes, "No, you got it all wrong. I shove that in your pussy." I love that joke. Nobody's telling it.
Say the last part again.
No. You got it all wrong. I shove that in your pussy.
Walking in the sunshine, sing a little sunshine song.
There you go. You know what? Maybe that wasn't right. Say that one more time. Say that one more time if you don't mind.
Okay, so I says to her, no, Toots. You got it all wrong. What I do is I'm going to shove that into your pussy.
Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug.
Hold on, pause it. I hate to do this to you, Brendon. Could you just do that one more time?
Okay. Oh, silly girl. No. You've gotten this all wrong. What I'm about to do is I'm going to shove that into your pussy.
I'm a nut. My life don't ever get in a rut. The head on my shoulders is sore loose, and I ain't got sense.
Hold on. I think we could do it one more time. Is this? Are you? Oh, please don't be upset with me. Could you do that one more time, please?
Yeah, no problem. No, ma'am. What you? There seems to be a misunderstanding here. What I'm going to do with that tripod is I'm going to shove it right into your pussy.
Everything is beautiful.
We'll take a break. You know what? Hold on. I think, if you don't mind, I think we could do it one more time. Hold on. There we go. Do you mind just doing it one more time? Oh, by the way, we're ready to say goodbye. We are saying goodbye. So we'll do this one more time, but you have some things you want to plug?
I'll be at the Austin Moon Tower Festival from the 25th through the 28th.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
And, yeah. And my podcast, The Bone Zone, you find it on the Death Squad Network.
Mm-hmm. And Daniel?
I will be next weekend. My friend Dan Levy is having a party. I will probably get there around 7. I'll get a drink, maybe get a little high, and then I'll be funny for the rest of the night.
Everything is beautiful.
Now you got to give him 14. I'm sorry, that was my fault. Say that one more time. We're going to get really good as we go to the close here. Say that again. You're going to be funny at a party?
I'm going to be funny at a party.
Daniel Kinno.
I like it. Anything else you need to promote?
I think I'm all right.
And thank you, Chris. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Mikey. Well, I guess we're going to do it. What? Oh, we put a funny video online. Last week we all had a funny dance party here, and Eddie Pepitone, it was very funny, was mocking me because I want people to dance, and I want them to be fun with it.
Now I'm paranoid. I don't know if this is going to be good.
Well, we'll do it. We'll play that next week. We got some
perfect.
Jay Leno, old Jay Leno on Letterman when he was fucking hilarious. But
hey, Todd, also Amazon.com. If
That's
people
right.
go to this episode's page and click on the banner and then shop at Amazon, help support the show.
Yeah, you buy shit you already need, and then we make some money, so it's good.
And I have a wish list on Amazon
for
for the Bone Zone. It's mostly wigs.
What was that? That's okay. That's okay.
Amazon.com.
I like it. Hey, we didn't make you sing. We didn't make you sing.
Huh. Well,
can we make you?
Yeah, what do you want me to sing?
You want to try?
Yeah.
I don't know. We could do the door is always open and the path as we go in for descent. And then we come back and we say, I'm going to shove that in your pussy one more time, and that's our big closer.
Okay.
Thank God we had something to close with.
Is this going to be a...
now, people might say,
karaoke?
Todd, you're saying shove it in your pussy. That's not being very open-minded. Sure it is. I think that's
Girls shove things in their pussies all the time.
On purpose or by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not saying against... We're not... He's... Oh, ho, 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 ho. He's asking her to do that, right? He's not saying, I'm going to do it.
Well, he's saying that's what his plan for the evening
And then
is.
if you're not comfortable with that...
It's assumed she is comfortable
Okay.
with that.
So here we go. Let's see.
I think she leaves.
Bring it down. Can you put some reverb?
I don't know this song.
I'll do a little. It goes...
But that won't help.
It's knowing that the door is always open and your path is free to walk. That makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag
rolled up in the stash behind your couch.
A little more reverb.
And it's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words and bonds and the ink stains that have dried upon some line.
It's all right. Just keep going.
That keeps you in the back roads by the rivers of my memory. That keeps you ever gentle on my mind.
Caller, go ahead.
It's clinging to the rocks and ivy planted on the columns now that binds me.
Thank you, caller. Back to you.
Or something that somebody said because they thought we fit together walking.
Caller, go ahead.
It's knowing that the world is not be cursing or forgiving when I walk along some railroad. All right, everybody.
This is the Todd Glass Show. Thank you, our guest, Brendon Walsh.
Thanks for having me.
Brendon.
I'm a big fan.
Leave that reverb in as we go. It keeps it all crescendoing to the end.
It's like we're in an empty warehouse.
I used to do in my impersonation. I changed it to be politically correct. A feminine guy lost in a warehouse.
But he's straight.
He's a straight, effeminate guy. And here's my impersonation of him lost in a warehouse. Oh, my God, I'm lost in a warehouse.
Everybody, I have a new project. It's an effeminate singing group called the Flaming Lisps, and we just sing Flaming Lips songs.
Oh, I thought you wanted to sing that song, The Flaming.
I could do that.
You want to try it?
Hey, whatever you want. You're the boss.
Well, I think it could be good. What would be a good song for him to do?
Sweet Caroline might be good as a effeminate.
No. How about Pumped Up Kicks?
Oh, Pumped Up Kicks?
Consider Yourself. You have the karaoke version of that?
Yeah, from the musical Oliver. Oh, yeah, that'll be a good one.
I cannot believe that Chris has...
Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. We've taken to you so strong. It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself well in. Consider yourself part of the furniture. There isn't a lot to spare. Who cares what we've ever got to share? I don't know after that.
Oh, you know what? It was a great...
Always a chance we'll meet somebody to foot the bill. Then the drinks are on the house.
You gotta keep doing it.
Hey, we don't want to have no fuss. For after some consideration, we can consider yourself one of us. Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family.
Fade it out. Our guest was the funny Brendon Walsh. Thank you very much. You know, I got to tell you one thing. You are a nut.
I'm a nut. I'm a nut. My life, I don't ever get in a rut. The head on my shoulders is sort of loose, and I ain't got sense God gave a goose, Lord. I ain't crazy.
Next time you're here with headphones in your ear, there's a lot of show left, so stay right here.
Hi, this is Todd Glass. Excuse me, sir, did you know there's a new episode of the Todd Glass Show every week? No, not every week. No, every week. Every single week.
So there's a new, different, so you...
Sir!
You're putting
Sir!
Obviously, you're just putting out the same podcast each week.
No, sir, you're not listening. There's a new podcast every single week. And go to ToddGlass.com. A new one every week.
Really?
Yes.
That's shocking.
Wow. Now there's a promo. Shove that up your ass.
Anytime you're getting low, instead of letting go, sit and let the time pass. Hey, here comes another Todd Glass Show. Hey, here